In my last video, children, as you know that we have started agriculture practices. Till now, we have discussed three topics from that. First was preparation of soil, second was sowing, third was adding manure and fertilizer. Our today's topic is about irrigation, that is fourth one. Children, as human beings, as living organisms, we all require water. Water is very much essential for survival. In the same manner, children, plants do require water for their survival. 90% of water is present in the plants. So, we are going to start how we can supply water to these crops. Children, supply of water after small period of time, the whole procedure is called irrigation. In today's video, we are going to discuss about how do we can supply water to the plants and what methods we are going to follow to supply the water to the plants and why water is very much essential for crops. One by one, I am going to discuss all these topics in detail. Let's start with today's video. Now, look at the next agriculture practice, that is irrigation. So far, what we have studied, children? We have studied about soil preparation, sowing of seeds, adding manure and fertilizer. Now, it's time to watering our plants. Children, if we stop watering our plants for a couple of days, then what happens? Plant may die. So, water is the integral part for plants. In this video, we will talk about the topic that is irrigation. What is irrigation, children? Irrigation is nothing but watering to the fields. To the fields. What is irrigation, children? Irrigation is supply of water to crops at regular interval, or we can say it is an artificial application of water to soil to ensure growth of agriculture crops. If whenever children we talk about irrigation, we are talking about watering to the fields. We are talking about watering to the fields. You would have seen, children, maybe in the movies, farmers wait for rainfall. Why? Because production of crops are more when required amount of rainfall they get. They pray to God for rain. And rainfall is the natural resource for watering the crops. But children, alone rainfall doesn't help because we do not have rainy season throughout the year. Maybe when we want water, that time there is no rain. Rainy season varies. Sometime rainy season start early, sometime it become late. So therefore we need this artificial method. What is we need? We need artificial method, and this artificial method is called irrigation. Now different plants need different water requirements, children. Some need extent amount of water and some need less amount of water. So that depend on plant to plant. As you remember, children, in my last video also we have discussed about classification. We have discussed about classification of crops. It basically depends on seasons. Children, you know that every crop requirement is different. That is why in my previous video we have classified crops according to the season, and those classification are three. First was Kharif, second was Rabi, and third was Zayyid crop. What are kharif crops, children? Those crops in which need large amount of water, and for that summer season we choose. In rabi crops need less amount of water. For that we are using winter season. And for zayyid crop, extent amount of heat we need. So that is why we are using summer season. Children, supply of water to crops regular interval is called irrigation. This I have repeated again and again, that supply of water to crop after short period of time is called irrigation. But notice here, time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. So this is also correct, children, because according to the classification different crops need different types of requirement, so it varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. Let's move to the next slide. Next slide is about importance of water in plant growth. As children, we are not satisfied with the natural resource, that is rainfall. Our natural resource of watering crops is rainfall. So as a human being, we are not satisfied with that. So we need one additional artificial supply of water, that is irrigation. That artificial supply of water is called irrigation. Irrigation. So that supply of water is in our control. That means we can say water is very much important. That is why we kept this artificial method as well as with that natural resource. Let's quickly come to know that what actually are the importance of water in the plant growth. First is it helps in germination of seeds. Children, as we know that farmer sow the seed, and with the help of water only that seed convert into crops. So if sufficient amount of water is not there, those seeds cannot be converted into crop. So we can say that water is very much essential in germination of seeds. Next point is about dissolved nutrient absorbed by plant. What is this? All nutrients are present in the soil, children. You know this. All the nutrients are present in the soil. We add manure to the soil, we add fertilizer to the soil, and naturally also all the nutrients are there in the soil in itself. So how do plants reach to the nutrients? Plants can reach to the nutrients with the help of roots. With the help of roots, children. Roots absorb the water and dissolve all the nutrients whatever present in the soil. So what is the role of water in this, children? Water is a medium between roots and other parts of plant. So here also water is very much important for dissolving nutrients. Next point is about water is needed for photosynthesis. What is the process of photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process in which plant prepare their food in the form of glucose. In the form of glucose, plant prepare their food in the presence of sunlight. During this process, water added. So when water is added, we get glucose for food in plants. So let's see how. CO2, carbon dioxide, when add with H2O, H2O is water, in the presence of sunlight it gives you C6H12 and O6, this is glucose, and release oxygen. If there is no water, if in this equation, if there is no water, photosynthesis do not occur. And if photosynthesis do not occur, plant is not able to prepare their food. So water is very much essential in all these three steps. It helps in germination, it helps in absorbing nutrients by plant, it helps in photosynthesis process also. Let's move to the next slide, children. Next slide is about sources of irrigation. Here, one question arises, children, how actually irrigation done? So, different types of irrigation, we are having different types of irrigation method, children, for on depending different water resources. And what are these water resources, children? It can be wells, tube ponds, canals, lakes, rivers, dams. So these are the sources from where we get water for irrigation. Children, we are having two methods for doing irrigation. First is traditional method and second is modern method. In traditional method, we are having four types how we can do traditionally irrigation, and in modern method we are having two types. Traditional method, the water available in wells, lake, canal is lifted up by different methods in different region for taking it to the field. Children, in the traditional method, mostly farmer use well as source of water. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods, children. So these methods are cheaper but less efficient. We are having various type of traditional method. First is mode, second is chain pump, dhekli and rehat. I am going to discuss about these method one by one. Children, this is a picture of mode and this is a picture of dhekli, as you are able to see on your screen. In both the cases, two things are common. One is well and second is human being. So in both the cases, human being is fetching water from the well and pouring directly. What he is doing, he is pouring directly to the crops manually. Only one difference is there. If you observe here in this rope, animal is attached, and in dhekli, stone is there. Only this difference is there between dhekli and mode. Both are similar, both are very much time consuming because we are involving human in this type of method, and human do work slow as compared to the machines. So these two methods are very much time consuming and not that much efficient, and in both the method water wastage is more. So due to the water scarcity, people don't use this method for irrigation. Next type of traditional irrigation is chain pump, and second is rehat. This one is chain pump and second is rehat. Rehat is also called lever system. It is also a traditional method of irrigation, children, uh, in which animal like ox, as you are able to see, one animal is attached to this wooden side. One animal like ox are used to pull out the water from the well, and this water is then evenly spread out over the field. It is cheaper but not very efficient method for irrigation. And in chain system, as you are able to observe, one chain like wheel is there, and with this chain, bucket is able to fetch the water from source of irrigation and directly throw that water into this slope, and with the help of this slope water is going to the crops. So these all work is carried forward with the help of chain only. That is why its name is chain pump. Children, this traditional method has so many disadvantages. That is why modern method come into the picture. First big disadvantage of this traditional method is too much human labor involved. Too much human labor involved. We are not talking about garden children, we are talking about huge field. So if we imagine person or group of person giving water to an entire field, in that we need too much human labor, which is not worth it. So if we are doing agriculture at small garden children, that is okay, we can use traditional method. But when we are talking about a huge field children, that time this human labor is not worth it, because human being is very slow as compared to machines. Next disadvantage is less efficient. It depends on human being. So traditional methods is depend on human being. So maybe some part of field get less amount of water, some get large quantity, or it might happen some part maybe left for having water. So human being can commit mistake while supplying of water, so it is less efficient. Third disadvantage is wastage of water. We do not know quantity of water needed by crop children. So human is giving water, it might happen wastage of water also. Maybe he is shifting water from one place to another. In that shifting, water falls down and it become waste. So traditional method children is having so many disadvantages. Because of these disadvantages only, modern method come into a picture. So, modern method of irrigation help us to use water economically. The main method used in this first is sprinkler and second is drip system. Let's talk about the modern method of irrigation children. First is sprinkler system. First is sprinkler system. As the name suggests children, sprinkler means spraying. Sprinkler means spraying water all around. So this is your entire field. Let's imagine this is your entire field children, and water is sprinkled like a fountain all over the field, like full big pipeline is there. After after small gaps, nozzles are there like this, and water is sprinkled like a fountain. I will show you picture of sprinkler system from your NCERT book children. Let's see what kind of picture we are having in that. See, I hope you are able to see. This is sprinkler system. This picture is sprinkler system, and this picture is drip system. This is sprinkler one and this is your drip system. I know both are looking similar children, but there is a huge difference between sprinkler system and drip system. In sprinkler system, like we are having one well, and from that well a long pipe is attached, and that long pipe is distributed into small parts, and that small parts have individual nozzles. The perpendicular pipe having rotating nozzles on top and are joined to the main pipeline. This is a main pipeline, and we are having perpendicular pipes like this. Angle made is 90 degree. So this is your main pipeline, and here is your nozzle. So they are maintaining 90 degree children. Okay, and when water is allowed to flow through the main pipe, when water is allowed to move from the main pipe under pressure with the help of pump in this well, if this is well, and with this well there is one pump, and with pressure water is fetched from these main pipe, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. When water is flowing through this main pipe and when it comes to the nozzles, so it escapes out like a fountain, like this, like a fountain it escapes out. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. Sprinkler is very useful for those areas, children, where uneven land is there. Okay, for example, like lawns, coffee plantation, and several other crops. In this case, children, no human labor needed to supply the water. Time is also needed less, and there will be efficient distribution of water. There is no wastage of water in this system. In modern method, we have discussed sprinkler system. In this, there is no wastage of water, there is no wastage of time, efficient way for distribution of water. So when nozzle is spreading the water in a circular motion, all the areas around it, it get the water in this form. I hope you all have observed this sprinkling of water in the gardens, children. In the garden also one fountain is present in the middle, and it sprinkles water like this all around the that circle. So in the same manner this sprinkler system works. Let's talk about the next method, that is drip system. In this also, children, I show you one picture, both were looking same, but there is a difference in that. In sprinkler system, water is sprinkled all over the area in a form of spray, in a form of fountain. But in drip system, children, again one well is there. With that well, a main pipeline is there, and small connections are there after few gap, and here is your plant. So this connection which touch the plant directly, water falls drop by drop near the roots of that plant. So this is different from the sprinkler system, because in that we are spraying water all over the field. We can say little bit wastage of water is also there in comparison to the drip system. In drip system, we are giving water to the roots directly by drop by drop by drop by drop. So drip here means drop. Drip means drop here. So in this system, the water falls drop by drop directly near the root. So that is why it is called drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruit, plants, garden and trees, children. Water is not at all wasted. It is a boon in the region where availability of water is poor, children. Like Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, we are having less amount of water. So in that kind of area, drip system is best. Let's move to the next slide. Now, what are the uses of this modern technique? It helps in translocation of food. How it helps in translocation of food? Like we are supplying water. We are supplying water to the plant. So how water can convert into a food for plant? Like you know that this is your root, and root is only responsible for absorbing water, and after that this root send the water to whole part of the plant. And when that leaf is the person who is responsible for making the food. So when the water reach to the leaf, it prepare the food by the process of photosynthesis. So we can say that irrigation help in translocation of food for plants. So when water is adding to the roots, that roots is transforming the water to sending the water to the whole part of a plant, and leaf prepare the food for the plant. So protect crops from frost and hot climate. So like in summers, we can say that, children, in summers frost and hot climate is there. So when we supply water to the crops, so its hotness and that dryness convert into moisture. So we can say that irrigation can protect crops from frost and hot climate too. Now let's talk about disadvantages of excess irrigation, children. Children, now we are giving water to the plant for growing, for better production, for better enrichment, for better nutrients. But if we are giving too much of water, so that is also harmful. Seeds can't respire. Seeds can't respire. So seed can't respire. Roots do not grow. So again, when we are talking about the plant, in the plant, who is absorbing water? Roots are absorbing water. So when we are giving large quantity of water, roots are not able to grow properly. It may can damage also. So that seed do not convert into crops. So we have to check whether that crop need how much amount of water. Like again, we have to discuss about classification of crop. Why that classification of crops happen? Just because we have to decide what kind of crop need how much water. So we can say that excess irrigation is also harmful. Now here is your home assignment, children. I hope after seeing this video you all are able to do this home assignment, and this home assignment you have to do at your rough notebook. Okay, so first question is what is irrigation. Second is explain how soil gets affected by continuous plantation of crops in a field. Third is what are the sources of water. Fourth is why do plants need water. Fifth is what methods are used to water plant. Sixth is what quantity of water plants required. So again, all the questions are related to my video only. I hope you all are able to solve this in a proper manner. Thank you.